Hi and welcome back to the Hydonso region. My name is Mads and today we're looking at the second generation of my old fake Pokemons. Okay, so before we start, we will look through the newest version up until it's no longer updated, and then we will reverse or go back to an older version that has the full dex. So with that, let's start. Starting out, we have the grass starter. It is just a salamander. It's cool though, it doesn't look like a grass starter. It's definitely a grass dragon, though this, again, doesn't look like a grass starter. But it's cool. Staikan turns into Skrahondod. Turns into Kiranakran. So the names here means nothing. Sometimes I mix some Norwegian and sometimes some English words, but most of the time it's just completely random. And a good example of a actually understandable name is this guy, which you probably already know. It's the current fire starter of the new remake I'm making, Pingaflam. And if you haven't seen this one, you should check out the newest version in the starter evolution or starter Pokemon of the Hydonso region. This is currently known as Flamgu, but back in the day it was Pingflam. And, you know, Penguin, Flame, fair enough, you know. And this one, it looks more like a penguin in this version than it used to back in the day. It looked more like an ape before. But oh well. It turns into Piavian. So Pingakav, which is the current evolution of it, this is where it started. You know, this is quite a evolution, so to say. Well, they both turn into Pingalaf, which is pretty cool. And I was considering this design heavily when I made Sun Igloo. So, you know, fair enough. Pretty cool, I think. And here's the thing. I did create a bubble frog before Greninja line was a thing. So, just to say. This one was made around... Originally, it was made around like when I was, say, 8 years old. Which meant I went to 4th grade. So, yeah. Froskos turned into Frokkaros. And then Frokkakarados. Pretty cool. Again, very dragon-like. Look like a Komodo dragon. And here you have this glasses style that I seem to go for. Even today I use this Pokemon with glasses for some reason. But you know, pretty cool though, I think. So here we have Tuositu turns into Garaniko and then Inkikorti. Interesting design, this one. I really like it actually. I like these two, not so much this one. But this one's just bizarre. I think that this one has so much potential, and then it turns into this, and it's like, what? Here we have a Snubble wannabe line. Kravor, technically, because two A's becomes O. Kravor. Turns into Krakavof. Voff in Norwegian is the voff, the sound that dogs makes. And it turns into Nakodakov. I was thinking to potentially make a Snubble convergent evolution or a Snubble variant based on these guys. So at some point, look forward to that. Probably going to be Electric Dark or something. So it's very ugly though. But I think that one has some strange things going on in his belly. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Rhyme. But interesting. Here we have Gussen. It's kind of like a Geodude of the region. Turns into gaseous and then Orgonos. Okay. The idea here though, that I want to make a Geodude line based on potatoes, because this reminds me of potato chips. I think it would be quite cool to have a convergent version of the Geodude line being potatoes. So I'm currently working on it. Just a heads up. Here we have Lomilum, turns into Lomray, and if it's a male it turns into Lomray. If female it turns into Lomina. It looks extremely terrifying. But this is based on a bird called Lom that lives in Norway. Not by any means their national bird in any sense of the word. It's just a bird that I thought was cool. And I plan to use them further down the line. I do want to make a Norwegian based region at some point. And I was thinking about having these in that one. Okay. This is Seg. It's under Segda and Sigda and Tigadam. Interesting that it's fire type apparently. Previous version doesn't have fire, so apparently I'm decided to make it water fire or something, which is arguably cooler than previous versions of it. Actually, I might do something with these guys. I like them. Here we have this Dusto and Dragon Snake. Pretty cool line. Looks like pompadour kind of snakes. We already have a fantastic pompadour with the within the Hydonso region with the water starter Sodok. So this might be later on. Might be a thing later on. Here we have Swiss. Turns into Swidders and Swinders. I like these guys. Obviously they are based on Sphinx and Egypt, and they will definitely be coming to the Hydonso region, so look forward to that. This line, Gesterius, Gedeli and Möldom, is the Gengar line, which means I also have a plan to potentially make, and I say potentially because it might not be this region, might be in the next one, to make like a ground type Ghastly line. It could be really cool. But it's obvious inspiration. I like the springy arms of Ghastly here. Planeto, we saw him in the previous video. So if you haven't watched the previous video where it's aliens and space and aliens or something, check it out. You can find it up here. It's a good video. Really happy with how it turned out, and here we have a version of it. This is a Relicanth. That's what this is. Maybe it's evolved a bit further because it has some legs here apparently, but this is clearly inspired by Relicanth. Relicanth. But this one is called Glorimek. It's cool though. Here we have a line that I really love, and there's so much lore behind it. But that will be when I recreate it, because these guys will definitely come to the Hydonso region. Love them. This is Mudum, turns into Muddark, and turns then into Dark of Mud. Pretty cool. This is Salin and Samin. Pretty cool. I love those lines, by the way. And it turns into Scarabin. Love it. Absolutely love it. These three you can expect to see, for sure. This one I like. Pripful, Spillov, and Spinevile. Spinevile will for sure come to, maybe not this region, but the next region. I love how they, how fierce they look, especially this one. It's cool. Definitely electric type. I have a lot of birds at the moment, and more birds will come. So we will get there, but not this region, I think. Bono turns into Bonion and then to Bovanliu. Pretty cool line. I like how it's like implemented the electric type. I think to be an electric roll here. Love this one though. We also have Bidiv and Bivivda. Pretty cool line. Look like a little. It's called sea monkeys. I think it's called. Turns into an eel. I like it. I'm planning to make them into the Hydonso region. They will look very different, but I like them. Of course, we need to have a Dracula. Here we have Skri, Hogrir, and Draculis. Draculis is a great name. And I feel like it's a decent design. This one is better than previous versions of it. Not too big fan of the clothing, but you know, fair enough. And I like the Stubat-like version turning into Dracula. It's pretty cool. Here we have Kavanara. Turns into Kavakara. Really ugly, but I love it. Really cool design. Wanna make, potentially will come this or next one. Probably next one. But I love it. It's really cool. I feel like I said that with everyone, but I genuinely like them. This one is interesting. I remember being very proud of this one. This is the Salamander Dragon line is based on. So I'm a Libra, and so I combined being a Libra with I'm born in the year of the hen in the Chinese zodiacs, and then I like dragons. So I combined all these traits into a Libra dragon hen. Pretty cool. Chameleon, Algord, and Dragonragda. I want to make them a pseudo. Not gonna happen this region. Next one. Yeah, the next one. Tilsil, Skiv, and Hopsil. So see again, I was before Teratops was the new turtle. The name is, I don't remember. I think it's Teratops or something. Before DLC comes out, just look at this. I made a turtle with loads of different colors on their back before that was a thing. So they're saying. Klovjav, alright, turns into Mayaka. And then Klok. What even is this? So it's this aquatic man, bear, crab thing. Interesting. Not too fan of whatever this thing is, but alright. I like this guy though. He's cute. Something went horribly wrong. Babygust turned into Slimgust. I love Slimgust. Great design. And then we have Sklet, based on the Death Plague, I think. Tigsiv, and then Trilbuk. Pretty cool. Sri and Sölkas. Cool horses. We also have Veitli, And then you can see Vitally here doesn't evolve. His evolution isn't finished, which means we will move to the older version of this region. Okay, just have a quick look through before we look at the newer ones, or the ones you guys haven't seen, just to see the improvement throughout the years. So here you can see a little bit more tame. Interesting how I interpreted that as fire. Interesting. You can see pretty much this, very similar to the newer versions. And we were about here. Here we see, I think I decided to remove these ones because every time I remade them I kind of changed things and decided to move some out and put some in. So here we have a Lapras wannabe, Silstri and Sulkas. Okay, no, actually I decided to completely change these two. So the two seahorses was actually these two. That's interesting. Because obviously I didn't want them to be a Lapras clone, so I completely changed them. That's interesting. That I didn't see before now. I like that. Well done me. Yeah, this thing I for sure decided to not keep in because it's obviously an Eevee evolution or Eevee clone called Vaiti. Turns into Vito, Tampi, Hippini, Fiva and Miss and Blau. Very clear what they are supposed to be and very clear why I didn't want to bring them further. Cookie, Kokada and Kakadada. More crabs. Interesting here, Cookie is the thing that Krabby says in the anime. Cookie, cookie. And I love that. So I decided to make a Pokemon just name Cookie. Very, very creative, Mads. Here we have Allah, turns into Olo, and then final evolution is Allah. I think my brother made Olo originally, in a previous version, and then I made this cool line out of it. I think it's cute, especially Allah. It's very nice. Love this line. I have big plans for this line. Planning to get into the Hydonso region. They might be looking too much like a pseudo, but I like them. Definitely based on what's the name? Not a hippogriff, but a lion and a bird. Bird lion hybrid. Either way, it turns into a mermaid. This is very interesting, I think. And the new version I planned is this aquatic, half bird, half lion, half what's the word? I just said it. Mermaid. Really cool idea. So look forward to that one. This one's actually based on my mom. All moms wants to have many arms, right? So Blai, Blala, and Blakak. Okay. Here we have another wannabe. What's the name? Wannabe Kangaskhan. Baby Skri and turns into Skrirai. But Kangaskhan doesn't have bombs with it, which this one definitely does. So, you know. Les, Like, and Lio. This is based on a sister. It looks very similar to previous versions we looked at. My sister is born in Cancer, and she loves to read, and for some reason I decided to make this bear, monkey, crab book hybrid thing. This one is very disturbing. Maybe this one is more, but this one is kind of cute actually. I don't know if you will ever see this one again, but let's see. Have a Mike Basowski. Trajana turns into 3D, and then Traknt. Wow. Some Rhyhorn looking Pokemon. Nestral, Voxlavn, and Staunklis. It doesn't really change that much either. Decent. This is interesting. I think it's, yeah, I plan to change this into some sort of rock and roll version or variant of the PG line. Hecto, Krako, and Hevskrat. What difficult names. Piga, Pigdao, and Pigkrala. I like this one. Well, this one is pretty obvious, isn't it? It's clearly the match-up line. But look, it's strong. It has a stone, big stone, and then it pulverizes it. The Tasmanian Devil from Looney Tunes. Kiras. I feel like it was someone else with that name earlier. Krastos. And Uhirkas. Oh well. Baby Vrivel. Turns to Vrivril and Tornados. I have many tornado-like Pokemon that I made throughout the years. Skrako, Krakarako, and Krandoko. Love this one. Really cool. Not so sure about this one, but this one is cool. Sunflora just better because there's a different final evolution, which Sunflora definitely need to have. Maybe I should make this into a regional variant or something. Tisosa and Florosa. I like that one. Love this design. All Frix and Olak. Love it. Edderkun and Killerkrop. Some spider Pokemon. Interesting. This poor creature, Klunk, was made by my brother. It looks like it's dying. It evolves into Basunka and Basukana. This one is cool. He had a rough life, but I like this one. This creature. For those of you who have seen the Lamp Pokemon video, which I recommend, it's a great video. Check it out here. This guy, I almost made the pre-evolution of it because I think it's great. It's so simple, but it's great. Ended up not doing that, so I'm probably going to make this into its own thing at some point. Not in this region, probably the next. Then we have Snap Plant. I think Snap Plant is needed in order to evolve Yumins into Yomala. It's Meanwhile. Green Meanwhile. I love this Donald Duck Genie. Hi Genie. The name is great. Divodad. Divodad. I love that name. Might use him. We have Savanesso and Seravanada. Alright. Not any evolutions for those. Yoin and Yarsaba. Alright. Interesting patterns. This guy, however, QE. Kui, I love, and Kie. These guys I really love, and I would love to put them in the Hydonso region. I completely forgot about them actually. So might do some cool things there because the designs are ridiculous and great. I love them. So they will, if not this one, next one for sure. This one, it looks like it should be the final evolution for these guys. Because it looks like a Digimon too. I remember loving creating those scales. Ciara-san, okay. Sepla and Seppelding. This is the Alolan mock before it was a thing, and it was made before Trubbish, the Trubbish line. So Seppeldinge means where you put all the trash in the region. I like it. Maybe I'll do something about it. I'm not sure. Pilva and Kliva. Alright. It turns into Pirkara. And there's a strange thing. Because I have flipped back and forward and I moved these designs around. Some of like Dinopioc here, for example, he's supposed to be an evolution to some. He is supposed to be a pre-evolution to something that comes in the next region. So over the years, been mixed up. Odo is a pre-evolution from the last region or last generation. Same with Terastuten. I think it's called Tussit. Final evolution of Tussit. Final previous pre-evo of the Steelix, the Onyx bug. The Ostrich Donald Duck one. This is the pre-evolution. Pre-evolution to the Farfetch'd line that I created. And to the Slugma/Torkoal line. Diggy Bigs is a evolution of Digbums that I think we didn't see last region. Definitely come later. Here we have Krump and turns into Knork. And then Kronak. There's a lot of K's in my naming convention. Adro, alright. Knai Ari and Snuskir is also pre-evolutions of some Pokemon that comes later. And Gigantaig is actually an evolution of something that comes later as well. I think this one is also an evolution of something. Komanikal. Knä. That's his name again. I feel like this is... I've seen this name before. Knami and Kumtrix. Cool designs. I feel like that my scanner doesn't really like green that much, because it's kind of been fading out the green, but it's supposed to be like this green on all of them. Here we have another bee. Chemix, Bugsteel and Steelbricks. Pretty cool actually. Cyborg-like steel bugs. I like it. Sparioi, so cute. Canario. Okay, it turns into Crano. I think I didn't like this one, but I like it a lot now. I think it's a cool idea that it's end up standing on all its feet. I have big plans for this line. Kaz and Kasos. I have big plans for this line. Kaz and Kasos. I have some legendary kind of ideas with it. We'll gonna be the Kind of like the Reggie trio, but very different. So I look forward to that. Loppa, Lapami, and Lampimark. Very interesting. I like this. Loppa. I like that one. Luno and Luaramia, yet another salamander. I was big fans of salamanders at the time. Kapa. Koppakon. What happened? Something happened. Spruta and Sprutak. My dad made Sprutak. So I made it a pre-evolution. Yes, this is coffee. Sprutak. It's looking terrifying, but I like it. Talking about terrifying, this is Quava. Quava turns into Quackun into Quackavik. Wow. Very terrifying. Palma, happy palm tree. This is Itchy, Itchyfjell and Skredda. This is my attempt to create like a Diglett line just out of mountains. Mitori was actually, this is yet another example of this one actually supposed to come way later, because Mitori was actually supposed to be Planeto's pre-evolution, and I really was thinking about creating it when I remade Planeto, but I decided against it because I liked the design I created for Mitori so much that I plan to use it for a different Pokemon that I had in mind. So I felt like they were looking too much alike, and so I was like, let's combine them. So Planeto doesn't have any pre-evolution, but it was supposed to be like the moons, started as moons and then it turned into a planet. Planso, Stunlo, and Stavankrak. I like the idea with the stone or a tree taking over a stone is cool. Skras, Serinus, and Elviso. Elviso is pretty cool. This one I love the design of. Might see them will combine with a Pidgey ID that I have later on. This one might be its own thing either way because I love its design. Pluk and Kadnok. I have a box of toys with different bits that you can combine different like body parts to each other and create bizarre creatures. And I created like something like this, and I loved it so much that I decided to turn into a Pokemon. It's really relevant actually to all my Pokemon technically, because it made me want to make Pokemon. Dopey, Brepion, and Keblion. Bizarre. Sineo and Kairako. Very cool. Love its design actually. Turns into Kanakankon. Has some big potential for this to potentially show up at a later date. Kamiton and King Kont. Alright. Flame Ghost and Fire Dark Ghost. I wonder what typing it has. Which one of the three should it prioritize? Fire Dark Ghost. Nit, Kutar, and Kavanor. Well, did I read correctly earlier? Flame Ghost? Yeah, I did. Something about this one I feel like is very cool. Bugfish, Sjøkon, and Dragheist. My mom loved this one, I remember, so she made me redraw it and put it on like as an actual drawing to her because she loved this. It's cool. Typical mom, Todnos, bizarre, creepy, alternative Mike Wazowski design maybe. Ströms and Strömsjan. I like its face. Svalink and Skalin. Does it evolve again? No, it doesn't. Muna. Muna is a Pokemon already, but mun means mouth in Norwegian. So we have a mouth. And Scampi, alright. Blyanta and Passiviski. Pretty cool ID. Sveis, Sleik and Koloman. It's just basically a hair growing a man. Alright. I felt like we talked about this in the previous region. Might have moved them up. But here they are again. Basketballo, Stianix. Footballo, Stianos. Sloballo, Stianik. Americana Footballa and Stianox. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Either way, all of these are based on my friend's brother, which at the time was the pinnacle in my mind for the most athletic person ever. He was a basketball player and was really, really tall. So I made like every sport possible based on him. It's kind of nice. Sanix, Aquatl and Exansli. I really like these two. Olini, Alini and Lynx. What is going on? Stolavix. Pretty cool design. Ijala, Ishkal, Ishiz. Okay. Another squid. Yarn, Nyai. It's just the same name, just backwards. All right. Yeah. I like it though. Burski and Baraz. Okay. Donset. I remember creating this. It's kind of like Bounsley. Looks like Bounsley. Just with an evil eye and being scary. Skrola. Skropolix. Really cool designs. Svinsos. Stosnivs and Svizun. Okay, I like this one. Jarnak, Kroppoman, Greia. I like this line. It's terrifying, but I really like the idea of like a brain. Hjärne means brain in Norwegian, and even though it's disgusting, it's a cool concept. Might see these guys actually. Knusa, Gigpig, and Crocopig. So it's a pig turning into a crocodile. Naila, Alien, and Skrikas. They're based on aliens, but also Scream, the portrait of Van Gogh, the Norwegian portrait of Van Gogh. I probably gonna remake this one when it comes to the Norwegian region I talked about before. Pjok Devil, he's definitely been remade, and most likely in this region. Really love him. Big plans for him. Lances turns into Lancista. Looking terrifying. And here we have all the legendaries. Metal Skye, Mewtwo wannabe. Angel Gussif and Skuvaskutanagig are the box legendaries. What a name. I think his name was supposed to be Triano. So what happened here? This is the Mew-like creature, Nenseristania, okay? And sea bird, a bird with wheels. Død means either dying or a door in Norwegian. So, alright. And that was actually everyone from this region that, yeah, was great. Just, definitely been some mixed up over the years with who's going where, but I have, to master my ability, try to put them back together, and I think at many times I tried to change the numbering. I have dyscalculia, and as a kid numbering things was a nightmare, so I spent a significant amount of time numbering things back in the past. But as long as I show you guys all of them eventually, then that's what matters. So which one do you like the most and why? Which one would you like to see me recreate? Be sure to check out the previous episode of the gen before this one, and check out my remakes of all my fake Pokemon. A new video coming soon. I decided to delay it a little bit, but yeah, it's gonna be great. Thank you so much for watching. Mads out.